What's
NFL
going
though.
on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named that after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mama and my granny for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at EMAX Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. Will not disappoint. We'll make sure I keep y'all up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful sports world. 3-on-3 tournament. Olympics passed, but we still gearing up for 2028 for the 3-on-3 tournament. Pending our brother Sedacious doesn't log in tonight. But nonetheless, man, what is a podcast without your brother? And we're gonna hold it down and have a great episode tonight.
Sean Hoy is a prize picks agent himself, Mr. Oh my God, he did it again. Green Beam, shouting, Instagram, Twitter. Let's get it.
Yo, it's the host with the most that blows the most smoke, Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug, you already know. Former prize picks extraordinaire. Uh, also be sure to go check out Talking Smoke on Apple Podcast, Spotify, anyway, but you dope podcast from. Let's get it, let's go.
I
Death Row Records. Oh man. Yeah, man. This week is a fairly relatively light sports week coming off the All-Star break. No football, a week removed from the Super Bowl. All we got is the All-Star game and the off-season NFL moves for the most part. But before we get into some sports, we were just talking about this before we went on air to celebrate or not celebrate Valentine's Day. Um, yeah, I was me and my wife, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Never have. For her, like she never like been a big proponent of it. Just personally. But when she was asking me like, oh, like why haven't you like ever really like cared? Because like when we first started talking, obviously I was just like, yo, like you big on Valentine's Day or whatever, and she was like, nah, I ain't really pressed about it. And I was like, bet. It sounds like a good agreement. Um, but when she asked me, I was just like, well, it's kind of like against my religion or whatever. And she was just like, what you mean? She was like, I never like, like came across like scripture in the Bible or whatever, or like celebrating like Valentine's Day or whatever. I was like, I ain't talking about the Bible. She's like, what you talking about? I was like, I'm talking about pimping. She was like,
nah.
she was like, I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. Oh,
I say Romans chapter.
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, no, I don't think pimps celebrate Valentine's Day, so I follow suit. You feel me? But outside of that, though, I really take pride in being able to show my wife like love like around the year. And the last thing I would ever want is for like our relationship to be in shambles, and like I'm supposed to like magically like act like everything's a-okay on Valentine's Day. And then it goes back to like being a dump. Our relationship goes back to being a dumpster fire. So yeah, so for me, that's why I choose to like not really get caught up in like Valentine's Day. Like if I'm doing right throughout the year and we locked in the way we're supposed to be locked in and communicating and showing love to one another on a daily basis, like Valentine's Day shouldn't move us to feel like we need to like do anything like extra. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just like wait a day after for us to like go get all the chocolate half off and like we treat ourselves to some dessert half off. Yeah, I mean, but that's how me and my wife always moved on Valentine's Day. But what about y'all?
Every woman I've ever been with in my life has been a big proponent of celebrating Valentine's Day. And I'm not saying that from a disgruntled place to all the women that, oh, you hate women, just say that. No, it's not what I'm saying. But um, definitely had a really good Valentine's Day this year. And I say really good because usually, this is a holiday for women, but it's a beautiful thing, I believe, when the man also gets thought about in that same light. So I definitely had a special somebody near and dear to my heart think about me in ways that I've never been thought about before. So it was just really cool to be appreciated. Um, as we celebrated each other. So
I'm more of a case by case type guy. I feel like if you have the time, the energy, the if you feel like you're
tread
kind of
light,
missing,
nigga, because you started off rocky.
huh?
Hey, I'm not gonna
Wait,
lie.
what?
Case by case basis. Wow.
Case by yeah, I'm about to say
Well,
tread
no, I mean
lightly,
that.
nigga, because you
Well, what I
started
mean by
out.
that is case by case, in the sense of depending on how your relationship is going throughout that year or where status is at. I feel like, or just even how your life is going. Because to a certain point, I talked to one of my regulars at my job, and I said Happy Valentine's Day. He said Happy Hallmark Card Day. And I was just like, oh, you kind of forget that perspective of it's a money grab, and if your money's not there to be able to do it, it can often work against you. You're trying to go out your way to press your girl, or in some cases the woman's trying to press the guy, and it's like, hey man, it ain't even that deep. Edward said, like you love your girl year round. It makes it to where you shouldn't have to, it shouldn't be a big deal. I shouldn't have to go out my way to spend money on this in particular day, even if things aren't quite the way I need them to be. So I look at it, that's what I mean by case. And also the fact of it's really like a temperature check. You kind of know your significant other, you'll know like, okay, this year I think I should kind of go out my way on this in particular day to make her happy. Or if you know, like, hey man, we really locked in, we're not really worried about that. That's like at the bottom of our totem pole about celebrating a made up holiday, then don't worry about it. So that's what I kind of mean by that. Like, I don't think it's meant for everyone to go over the top and to try to be in competition to a certain extent, or just trying to keep up with the Joneses, if you would say. So that's how I feel about it, and I feel like a lot of people get caught up in that, especially with social media, to where they often force themselves in that position to where they just it's just not worth it. The person may be worth it, but the circumstances aren't quite perfect for it. Just like Edward said, sometimes you got to do it the day after Valentine's Day, whether it's financial or time or whatever it may be. It's like it shouldn't have to be that in particular day to where it's that means everything. So that's how I look at it. Like it's the in particular day shouldn't be highlighted as much as the celebration of each other should be more important. Even if it's the day before, day after, the week of, the weekend, whatever. So just think people get a little anal on the pause. People get a little bit overly direct on celebrating it on the day. So
Yeah, if you really
Yeah,
play
and I think
every day, I was just gonna say if you really play every day is Valentine's Day with your lady. That's my take on
that's true. And I feel like in every relationship, like I feel like communication is key. Because I was definitely in a situation to where it was just like got some things ahead of me, some obligations, that require monetary efforts. So probably didn't go as grand and as big as I would have liked to have gone, but it's literally all about communicating with your partner, setting expectations, and when you have somebody that's sensible and somebody who isn't driven by the fake standard that society sets, I think you're in for a really good time, no matter who you're with or how much money you spend or whatever y'all do. Just having that type of understanding in a relationship, it sets the a groundwork for good things to just kind of grow from there. So definitely went it on a more smaller scale, but it was probably one of the more thoughtful Valentine's Day that I've personally been a part of. So um,
yeah,
yeah, man, it was special. More to come.
yeah, nah, it shine hard.
I'll say this to say real quick. I'm not
Uh,
gonna put too much detail on it, or make it too direct. But I witnessed somebody that I know get glamorized with one of the most biggest celebrations, and everybody jealous. And within a year, things crashed and burned as far as their future went. So let that, and I took that as like you know, people when people go over the top on Valentine's Day, it can be a bit of smoke and mirrors of what's actually going on
Man, I
behind the
really fucked
scenes.
up last month. I need to get back right, and because when you bringing them flowers on a random Monday morning, or you surprise her at her job with lunch and some roses, like all of a sudden the pressure of Valentine's Day significantly goes down. Like, oh, babe, did you want to do something this weekend? I mean, we didn't have to. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Instead of you gonna ask me to be your Valentine's Day, this is like, oh
It's
well,
like, yeah, let's
relax. Hold on. So yeah, man.
nah, like you
Communication rules the nation.
hey man, like you said on there, there's some statistic I've been seeing out there that like the higher people on a larger scale of not just Valentine's Day, but like people going all out, then they not together the next month, next week. There's a statistic out there that's like the higher dollar amount that people pay for their wedding, the more likely they are to get a divorce. And like you look at people who they just go elope or like, oh, you just think about like your grandparents from back in the day. Like my mom and daddy, they 30 plus years strong. Like they got married in the kitchen. Like, yeah, I mean, so so yeah, nah. But Shine I don't know if the missus listens to the pod, but I just want to tell her that if you hear listen to this, I've heard nothing but great things about you, and I look forward to meeting you. And I see a different brightness in my brother's demeanor when he talks about you. But nah, man. All-Star weekend was this past weekend. Um, I'm gonna start here and then obviously we'll unpack everything else surrounding it. As everybody and their mama have all been saying, All-Star weekend isn't the same, it's whack, so on and so forth. I've probably seen in total like screen watch time, maybe no more than 5 minutes of everything combined, like just the highlights, because I didn't like turn on TV to like watch All Star Weekend, like not even a little bit. I seen some
Wow.
highlights. I seen some highlights of Celebrity Game with Kai Cenat and Drewski. Obviously, that was probably like the two main attractions. I seen Saturday night for I seen McClung, obviously. I seen his highlight dunk paying tribute to Blake Griffin. I seen that. Did not watch the whole entirety of the slam dunk contest. Didn't watch the 3-point contest at all. And then I seen on Sunday that I think Team OGs it was like won, and like the only highlight I seen from that is like the Steph Curry like one-legged 3-point runner, and then I forget how the format was, but like I seen like Dame hit like a game winner for one of the games or the matches or whatever, like, and that probably all together wasn't even 5 minutes of like total watch screen time of like the highlights. So 5 minutes is probably being generous. But apart from that, where I want to start first is LeBron is getting obviously flack from people saying like he should have said something sooner about sitting out an All-Star game, give another player opportunity to be able to like get that badge of honor. Uh, LeBron is grandfather, and I feel like he could do what he want
To
to
those people, I say
do.
sincerely, we do not give a flying fuck about Norman Powell being in the All Star game. I don't. And I get it, but Norman Powell averaged 24 this year. He's been available 31 years. Like, bro, he really deserved it. The NBA has bitched about ratings this year being down. I think with the trade of Luka going to the Lakers, I think that will help somewhat. And just the trade deadline being a big finanza, probably the most active it's
Trade,
been in.
yeah, trade deadline was like free agency like a couple years back, like every
Right.
year.
The trade deadline is probably the craziest it's been in about 5 years. Um, but man, like let's stop this narrative that LeBron robbed Norman Powell of this great emerging opportunity for him to finally be an all-star. Like, bro, sincerely, nobody gives a fuck, bro. And maybe the people like I don't want to say like, man, Norman Powell, like I don't want to shit on anything that he's done this year, but I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. We talking about Norman Powell getting snubbed. Like, how many times do Trey Young got to lead the league and assist for him to get these bullshit run of the muck all star nods after 5 million people get hurt ahead of him, and then like, oh nigga, damn. you can
Yeah,
be an all-star this year. Like, come on,
yeah,
bro. So I don't know, man. I just feel a little differently about it, but um, hopefully Silver can save the product, man, because All-Star game
yeah.
used to at least let the players wear they old jerseys and I don't know, maybe incentivize it to where you have, whoever does win the conference or what conference wins it, because I think it should go back to conference. Maybe they go back to having home court in the finals again for whatever conference does win it. So it's like something is on the line. You plan for something. So,
Yeah.
mm,
Nah, I mean, me personally, if you want to force me to blame somebody, I think I would blame Brian for it. Only
low hanging fruit,
because,
man.
huh?
Low hanging fruit to blame that man.
Nah, bro. I mean, I feel like I would. I think because like Braun, obviously Braun is a leader. Everybody follows suit with LeBron and like what he does. And I feel like prior to LeBron, your marquee superstars, they placed a certain value and interest in the All-Star weekend. Something as simple as, yo, compete in the slam dunk contest. Braun doesn't do that. And
Yeah, he watered down the dunk contest because I guarantee you, if LeBron James would have joined it, maybe you see D Wade joining, maybe you see all those other
guys,
guys.
guys
That
follow suit. I think guys follow suit
right,
behind Braun if he
yeah.
does it. So like that's just from the component of
But you
like
know what
just
that is though. He haven't done it because he was scared. He been scared every year that he'll lose it, and because MJ done won one. You know what I mean? It's added pressure on.
yeah. I mean, but I feel like Braun has been under far more pressure that I wouldn't reduce like his pressure to like an all-star week. It's like, bro, like just compete because I feel like superstars coming behind him will feel like I gotta do it. Because Braun would be following Jordan or Kobe, and all right, the next player coming up, okay, Braun did it, I gotta do it. I mean, but Braun has obviously carved his own path and done what he's wanted to do. But if you had to, I'm not really trying to hold a gun to his head about the situation. But if you had to blame somebody, um, and I think also too when Kobe was in the league, obviously Kobe had like that overly like competitive nature, and like Kobe was an alpha, he was a leader, and so like that matriculated in terms of like him defending guys, to the brink in the games, making them more competitive, and guys follow suit. Whereas like Braun just out there, hey, appreciate y'all. I'm not trying to get hurt. This is just another victory lap for me midway through the season. Appreciate it. When I was done, this don't have nothing to do with LeBron, what I'm about to say, but when I was done with like the All-Star weekend is when uh that was like Giannis had got like a fast break and like Steph just happened to be on at the other end of the court behind the play.
Oh, bro, and he
He
just
got on
laid
the
down on
court
the
and like
floor.
did, yeah. At that point, I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. But I want to say this in trying to, not even in trying to, in acknowledging the players as being human beings and understanding and respecting them to be like, this isn't just a fun fair for them. This is their job. Like you talk about the guys like not being competitive and guys like not doing enough to make the game exciting and interesting. Like, bruh, they want to break just as much as everybody else. Like, you got all the other players and coaches and staff who were at home or not even or in on Cancun on these big lavish like quick getaways, and they still tied down, anchored to having to fulfill these obligations of the All Star weekend. Like these dudes like want breaks too. Like I mean, you could argue like maybe they get 2 or 3 days after All Star break before they have to return back to their team and get the second half of the season going. But like if you want to shoot them some bail, it's just like I get it. Like they didn't play 40 some plus, they didn't play half the season like everybody else. And now on top of that, you expecting them to go out and put on like this barrage of like playoff atmosphere type like back and forth game. So it's like I get it. Although to that counter of an argument, you could be like, bro, them boys, we seen them play harder in the summertime against one another. Like, so like what are we talking about? But that's my take on the whole situation as a whole. But if I'm a Lakers fan, this is where I want to take the conversation. If I'm a Lakers fan, For LeBron James to say, I'm not playing, I need to focus on the long haul of the season and making sure I'm fully healthy. To me, that said, LeBron means business going into this second half of the season. And he's mental blinkers on, really trying to make a push in whichever way they can to be fully healthy as possible. And having an arsenal of firepower alongside him with Luka to possibly make a championship run. So I'm not tripping off Braun saying he not playing. If you're a Lakers fan, I think you should be excited about Braun not playing because it's like he really locked in on like the long haul of the season. He's focused on the long game and not just the short game of being of parading around in an all-star, a meaningless all-star game.
Mega Man.
Bro, just scrap it. Just scrap it, bro. Do the trying to cheat on the skills challenge. Nobody
Oh,
cares
no, no,
about
no,
the
no, no,
dunk
no, no. Don't
contest
do that.
anymore.
Don't go people. Let's say who the fuck it was. Chris Ball, no ring having ass. That's who it was.
But at the end of the day, just nobody cares. And but honestly, that was the most exciting part about it when they
But I'm
cheated.
saying is you can still be competitive and actually try to do the actual fucking drills.
But nobody
Like what the fuck
cares.
was Chris Paul bald head ass thinking? Just throwing the balls up there like you in a motherfucking like this whole obstacle course like you not a professional basketball player. Now that part pissed me off, but
Because
I
nobody
don't think
cares. Because and that was the point. Nobody cares about the skills. Nobody cares about these things that they're doing. It's like
no
they
no
took
no
the
no
flair
no.
out.
On the
Somewhere down the
contrary,
line, they lost the flair with
he
it.
cared
Whose
about it so
fault? I don't
much
know.
he tried to cheat and game the system in order to win because Chris Paul doesn't win anything and he's not a winner.
That's a theory, and
Although
that's
his
fine.
presence does contribute to winning on most teams that he's on, it doesn't
But he's
equate to championships or
but yeah,
trophies or
but he
all.
knew the risk of what he was doing. He could possibly get disqualified. He knew that was a possibility. Even because the first thing he said was, "All right," because he knew it was a possibility. He didn't question it. He didn't argue. He knew what he was doing. He just knew, like, dude, like, well, nobody cares about it anyways. Let me just do it this way and try to win this way. What worst thing they can do is disqualify us. And who cares if they do? What we want to get fined? No, probably did get fined to how much attention it drew. But even then, he doesn't care. It's like I think at the end of the day, like just like you said earlier, nope, some of these players just don't care about going to this all-star because other players don't care. And when it ripples like that, it's just like, bro, it's like you got to scrap it at this point. It's like I think there's nothing you technically can do to save it. You can, but the way the players are thinking right now, they're
Because
thinking
like you
too.
gotta, I'm sorry to cut you off, but keep going. I'm sorry.
No, no, but no, help me out. Help me out.
No, I'm
Nah,
just
maybe
saying
we should
like
just scrap the preseason too because players don't care. Or maybe we should just scrap the first 20 games of the season because niggas are still working their way into basketball shape. Maybe we should just play 50 games. Maybe
Bro,
we should.
when's the last time someone actually cared about the dunk contest until one person came? And
Maybe
which
we
has been
don't have a
happening the
second
last
round of
couple
the
of years.
playoffs. Maybe we just go first
you
round
say
and
maybe
go
we don't have a
conference
second
finals after
round of the
that.
playoff. Maybe
Come
every
on, let's
first
be
round is
I'm
realistic. Come on,
saying
let's
though,
be
bro, it's
realistic.
just like eventually you're gonna
I,
have to play it, and if we gotta incentivize it, or just start taking niggas money, bro, like if you don't incentivize it to the point to where it's just like, hey, if we feel as though we deem it as if you not playing hard, then you just forfeit your opportunity to make an all-star team for next year. And then if you're not making these all-star teams, potentially that could affect your money when it's time for
So
contract negotiations.
see,
my
come
thing
on, that's
is
gonna cause another lockout,
like I was
in
saying,
my
bro,
opinion.
like you got the OGs who aren't putting forth the effort to be like, we need to make this game competitive. And you got the young stars, the Jazz, the Anthony Edwards coming up watching y'all. And it's like, well, when they get to that plateau, they gonna like, shit, we here chilling, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It used to be a time where like your older guys getting ready to be out of the league where it's like they get, that honorary nod for an all-star game and they the ones chilling on, hey, young fellas, y'all need to get out there and compete hard. But like everybody out there, young or old out there, just like
Everybody think they got it made. Everybody think they that nigga. And that's part of I feel like that's an America problem. Like we done got to the point to where it's just like don't nobody want to get hurt. Don't nobody want to sacrifice the bottom line. I'm like, hell, y'all niggas halfway don't want to play in the real fucking games. So it's just like
But that's what I'm saying. And now you get my
But
point.
And
But
you
that's
know
my
what?
I
And you know what? This is making it take a turn. Um, y'all, like you saying, is like y'all halfway playing through the regular games. It's almost like to a point where it's just like, well, ratings may be down
Do
because we
you
ain't
give a
gonna
fuck
tune
about
in into the
basketball? It's like, when do
playoffs.
you play hard? When are you gonna play hard? When do that shit kick in? When do it be like, man, bro, whatchamacallit was really locked in tonight, bro, really playing hard? Or, man, bro, been playing hard this past, last half of the season. Like, I've been saying that about Jalen Green the last 3, 4 years. His second half of the season post All Star break has been literally one for the books. So really, you could start saying in January, Jalen Green, the start of that second half, when that second half of the year start, man, nigga turned into a complete animal.
Yeah.
But I- bro, again, it's to the point to where it's just like, bro, eventually nobody's gonna take it serious until your money start getting cut. And again, because it's like, okay, bet you don't play enough games, you're not gonna make all NBA teams, which directly affects your ability to get money and amount of money that you're gonna make. Like niggas like Joel Embiid, like I'm gonna say this, and this shit's gonna it might make news. Joel Embiid is on his way out of the league. Joel Embiid is on his way out of the league. What do you mean by that, Isaac? Joel Embiid, you don't get healthier as time progresses as a 7 footer. Typically, those injuries start to stockpile, and then as soon as you know it, you more so kind of fade into oblivion. Has Joel Embiid garnered enough regular season hoopla in order to be a Hall of Famer? I'm not sure. Um, that's conjecture. That's up for debate. But I give it 3 years tops. And Joel Embiid, you will see him fading away in a Greg Oden like fashion in regards to the quickness that he'll fade due to the fact that he does not care enough to take care of his body. And we'll see those injuries continue to get worse and worse. And he doesn't play back. He doesn't even play back to backs now. I think he's maybe played in 10 to 20 games. So a lot of these guys, man, um, and I think this transitions to our another topic. Like niggas ain't coming from the slums no more. Niggas ain't coming from poverty, bro. Niggas don't really have it on their heart and on their chest that, man, bro, I gotta play. I gotta go put on, bro, because if I don't, we don't eat. Nobody's thinking about that anymore because a lot of these guys, they get paid in college. You have NIL now, especially within collegiate basketball. You don't see it as more of a prominent thing. At least I haven't seen the landscape change that much due to NIL from a basketball standpoint. But man, a lot of these guys are just, they're coming from not so hard or toughest backgrounds to where, again, their families are in dire situations to where they have to make it or else there is no backup plan. A lot of these guys, they're like, oh man, if I don't make it to the league, I'm gonna just go run our family's $1 million business on the side and be unfulfilled. You know what I mean? Like
and
it's no
be
real threat of longevity and quality of life being threatened if they don't perform in the NBA, in my
but I
humble opinion.
but I will say too though, the idea of personal skill rivalries are slowly dying if they haven't already. Like people ain't beefing with people competitively on the court to where when they meet him in All Star, oh, I got your number. You know what I'm saying? I say it kind of like went down when Kobe retired and LeBron held him. And then, he slapped the ground and it was all cool. It's like, bro, like, I get it, y'all cool, but keep that cool stuff off the court, bro. Like, God bless his soul. But it's just like, that kind of movement kind of kills like the all-star idea. I
I,
would think at
I,
some point during All-Star when these top players
I
met up each
blame
other.
Braun for that friendly ass attitude because I feel like if Braun came in as a killer and really just didn't fuck with niggas, I think more people would embody that because whether people like to
Exactly.
admit it or not, they are more followers than they are leaders, as you can clearly see. Um, but
But I
we could place blame at the end of LeBron's feet all day, all night until the cows come home. But
but but also it brings it to my point though. That makes it to where, okay, you know what? I got a competitive beef with you. I can catch you on that court. I ain't got to worry about being a team player. I ain't got to worry about my coach yelling at me. I ain't got to worry about the crowd booing me. I get my chance to actually cross you up or lock you up or posterize you or hit a three in your face. Now everybody, when Steph Curry come up there, everybody's watching in awe. When people are coming out there, everybody's watching in
You
awe.
know
It's like,
what it
okay, I
is? Because
get
it's
it,
the
but
politics of
bro,
it.
like,
I think
you know,
dudes is scared, man. If I lock Steph up too much, or if I care about it too much, and I'm not trying to be buddy buddy, they may get to talking about me behind my back, and then maybe guys out of in those league circles hear that and like, oh well, if our star player doesn't like him, then he doesn't have a place on this team. And then you done politics your way, you done hard nose your way out the fucking league, right? So it's
exactly.
just I don't know what you can do, man. It seems like you
And that's why I
damned if
say
you do,
scrap it.
damned if you don't. But I
Well,
don't
first,
say scrap it. I do say it's still worth trying due to the fact that the NFL just completely left go. Because I do understand the safety precautions and safety measures from the NFL standpoint. Like it's guys that never got paid again that got hurt in the Pro Bowl who had career altering injuries due to that. So I get it from the football standpoint, but even still, they didn't scrap the Pro Bowl entirely. They at least still do stuff. It's fun to
they
watch
scrapped the
their
Pro Bowl,
skill
bro.
challenges. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There's
The
nothing of
Pro Bowl is fun to watch from a skill
yes.
challenge perspective. I think it does have entertainment value.
Hmm.
I don't really love the flag football piece of it, but the skill challenge that they do with the weights and the obstacle course, I think that's really dope. I think that is intriguing. So I think the NBA just has to get more creative. We do some one-on-one tournaments.
Yeah. I
Maybe
like
we
some
do.
one-on-one.
I would
Yeah.
love to see
Yeah,
King of the Court.
exactly. And that's what I mean. Bring that rivalry aspect
Yeah.
to
King of the
bring
court.
something to do it. You're going out there playing 5-on-5
I
with
want niggas to
players that
be
play on the same
competitive again.
team
Like, yeah,
or
bro,
have
we in the
nothing to
league
prove.
and
What's
we
the point?
friends. But bro, when we get out here, bro, on my mom, I'm not taking it easy on you, bro. I'm
Yeah.
finna bust your ass.
And that was
And
the
I'm
Yeah.
thing
gonna
about the
embarrass
East
you
Coast
out
versus
here.
the West Coast.
And if
Some of
you
those,
don't hoop, you're getting embarrassed. So
yeah,
you
like
better
that's what's
hoop.
good about the East Coast versus West Coast. You played some teams you met in the finals a couple years ago, and you may get meet homeboy again and get your little bit of,
Like
hey, bro. I
Tatum.
mean, me and
If I was
Fifty
Tatum,
real,
I would be trying to lock Curry up every time I seen him. Cause I'd be pissed off thinking about 22, 23 all over again, bro.
bruh.
It's
Yeah.
no way. It's just no way. Like it's just certain shit that you just don't take personal no more. Because again, niggas feel like they'd arrived. Niggas feel like, man, I ain't got it, man. These other niggas ain't playing hard. I ain't finna get myself hurt. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if we can have a dying of that attitude, man, the NBA will be all right. We gotta start getting them gangsters in them. We gotta start getting them gangsters back in the league. The Stephon Marbury's and KG's and shit. Like
Yeah.
we need that fieriness, man. It's too many Jalen's in the league. They got a mixed mama who got a bob in the middle of their hair who just that grew up in a nice neighborhood and nigga ain't got no grit to him, bro. He just
With
This
silver
don't.
guy's a
gray hair.
gangster. His real name's Clarence.
Come on, man. Clarence parents have a real good marriage, and shout out to the people and the kids that got two two parent households that uphold a great example, bro. But in my league, I'm gonna need some broken homes. I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need some guys that come from some less than situations because the product ain't good right now, bro. It just ain't. It just ain't. It just ain't, man.
Yeah, leave the job, Morant's.
Oh
Leave.
man. Hey, we're gonna name this episode Broken Homes.
Oh man.
Sheesh.
Oh man.
Oh
Oh man.
man.
Oh man. Crossing over, man. I've been watching. I don't really have much to talk about to it unless y'all do the ASAP Rocky beating his case with the gun charge and one of his former friends trying to rat on him and get him locked up or whatever.
Got one thing to say about that. Not interested in old partners trying to scam their other partners out of money and telling on niggas and trying to get them incarcerated. I think that shit pussy. Not a fan of ASAP, any of the ASAPs, Rocky, Ferg, none of these niggas. But you know, I'm glad a black man didn't get put in jail by another black man who just so happened to be his biggest hater turn. used to be biggest friend, so unfortunate situation. I think both the niggas some hoes and yeah.
I'm just happy to see a current rapper to be in a legal
He's not a rapper, he's
situation.
a model. Nigga ain't no rapper. Nigga ain't rapped in years.
Well, wherever he is, I'm glad to see him not in a legal position and go through a speedy trial and actually make it out because people either getting held in jail for a significant amount of times, um, their cases are getting postponed, they're
Man, that
getting
nigga
some
Rihanna baby
heavy.
daddy, that nigga ain't finna sit no cell. He's finna beat every case. He's gonna have the best money lawyers can buy. Nigga got a billionaire girlfriend. If I was in, I'd be trying to propose with no prenup. If he really knew what was good for him, get her pregnant again, which I think he already has. It's like, yeah, bro, have as many kids with her as you can. Keep the ties strong, nigga. Keep them strong, bro, because I'm pretty sure you're not getting paid from rap anymore. And that's not me counting ASAP. But you broke the nigga. ASAP got no money. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. What I am saying is, bro, right. It wasn't fucking news to me. So whether a nigga would have got 20 years from that shit, nigga would have been like, damn, bro, when we gonna get that new ASAP album? Nigga ain't got an ASAP album since fucking 12 years ago. Fuck. Anyway, though, shout out to him, though. I guess he, beat some jail time. Hey, anytime you can flip it to the man, I guess.
Rich Merc.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
God damn, bro.
before we
Oh,
go,
in other news today, I did see Drake get tossed a DeMar DeRozan Raptors jersey at one of his recent concerts, I believe this week,
Corny.
and he was seen throwing it demonstratively through to the ground. And I
wow.
believe ESPN has just reported, and this is live breaking news on the podcast. ESPN has just reported that the Kings have actually trolled Drake back in response to Drake throwing DeMar DeRozan's jersey down. I'm not sure exactly how the troll um, went, but it is being reported that they did clap back.
What did
If that's
they
worth
post?
anything.
Drake and battling with a whole basketball
Oh,
team
they said, oh yeah,
organization.
the Kings posted the 916 loves Debo.
Yeah. You're beefing with a whole like okay. I don't
What
know.
do
Yeah,
y'all
he's
make
starting
of?
to beef with it. I think you know what I'm thinking, bro. Slowly,
He's really going outside, man.
He's starting to lose Americans, bro. He's gonna have to start doing those outside of the country shows, like and niggas love America for as much shit as people talk about it. You love being here, nigga. You love doing your business here. You love having your family live here, nigga. So I don't want to hear about, oh, bro, I don't need American money. Yeah, well, okay, we'll see, right?
Sudden your
I,
accent came on
I
real
think it's
strong.
turning into a America versus Canada thing, and then I think it's like,
Y'all listen
bro, you
to that
really
album? Y'all listen to that Drake Party Negro
no.
album?
No, I did not, man.
I
Oh,
did.
It's a zesty cover, so I really went too
bro,
fond of
I'm
it.
30 years old, bro. I don't want to hear about teenage fever and shit from a 40-year-old fuck nigga.
Sorry, the cover wasn't very appealing. The
And I
two
heard
men in
he
furs.
stole that cover from a local Toronto artist,
It just
an
wasn't.
upcoming artist who, by
I
the
don't
way,
know,
I think
man.
they begged for the guy to write on this album and he declined. And then they still stole his cover art anyway.
He's but the thing about it is I will say the man Drake is still talented. The shit is still gonna be
Yeah, he's still in, but
it's at this
you
point I
know,
just feel like he's given too much
still
energy
kill and
to a
destroy.
beef into a
But
subject matter
nah, that's
that
what
is
he
just
wanted. Drake wanted this. Remember when
exactly.
he?
And but the thing about it is he has control over this, and that's what's so irritating about it to just
He
let it
don't,
go.
brother. At this,
But he won't let it go.
he had control over it. Now
No,
it
yeah, now he's
was
over. There's nothing he can do about it. But
the
he had
one.
control.
So this once was a very small snowball at the top of the mountain peak, right? Small snowball, who cares, right? But as it began to kind of matriculate its way down the mountain, this small snowball is now a very alarming avalanche that is out of control.
It was he was helped by him.
I haven't
Hey,
listened. I haven't
By him.
listened to
That's
the
what the worst part
album.
about it is.
I haven't listened to the album, but I will say I find it very funny how you know how when we growing up as kids and like there's somebody like being picked on like amongst a group of people and that person being picked on, they try to find the weakest person amongst the crowd to be like, I know you ain't laughing type deal.
I
That's
know where
how
you going with this.
that's how I felt when I heard that like Drake was taking shots at like at Joe Budden.
Joe Budden.
I think maybe he took a shot at somebody else too. I'm not sure. Uh but to like put
Like,
out but
nigga,
to put
go
out like
rap.
your first project after this astronomical beef, for you to be
And
shooting
listen,
shots at anybody other than Kendrick still, I thought was crazy. I
Don't
was
shoot
just
no shot.
like,
Put your gun away.
this is like,
Man.
Drake, you really thought that that ball was like needed? You know what I'm saying? And like, this is not no rapper. This is a media person now. Like, what are we talking
he's
about,
a
bro?
podcaster, brother. He's got his money from podcasting.
I think the world will respect Drake a lot better, bro, if he go on a streak of making songs, not addressing no beef to nobody on this planet. I think his career actually would trend up. I think the worst thing he can do is make beef, address any beef, or go at anybody negative. Period.
We
At
are in
this
the
point,
we are in the twilight period of Drake's transitioning. And
it's
what I
like,
mean
bro,
by that
like
is
that's the only thing that because I feel like he's such
you
a
are
supernova
seeing,
of a celebrity, whether we
yeah,
like
bro,
him or not, whether we agree however you feel about him. It's like, bro, like
you're
stop
seeing the
feeding
beginning
into
of
this
the end, bro.
narrative of a beef that you can't let go and just
You
do you. Stop worrying about anything related to it and just do your
he
music.
made
Because
it this big though,
and
bro.
no,
So
and I
there's
know
literally
I'm not saying
nothing
he
he
hasn't. And it's just like, bro, I hear this music and I'm like, bro, you got the rhythm, you got the sound. It's just the context of what you're talking about. People ain't feeling
but
because
you
they know it's
know, it's not
bullshit.
the context of what you're talking about. It's the fact, it's how you're going about everything. You going about it like the bad bitches you rap about in your songs, bro. Even how you came out on one of your concerts with like 8 holes in the front of your fucking jacket and shit, with the smoke machine coming through the shirt. Like, you just corny. You dramatic like a little bitch, like a little
Like,
girl.
stop.
It's just like, bro, stop. Stop. Come on, man. If you look like a Kanye knockoff with all the holes and shit in your hoodie, like, people gonna play. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, bro, just stop. Just stop, because you're making it worse. And it's like, I think what he thought he was gonna do by making, like, an EP with Party, like, okay, we're gonna make some songs for the women again, and we're gonna try to get back on the melodic side, and we're gonna try to do that. But it's like, nah, bro.
No,
I might need a whole song or a whole album of you just rapping, and I don't know if you've ever done that. So it's like, is it really? And again, I think it's really the beginning of it, because it's like nobody stays hot forever, bro. Not Wayne. As much as we love Wayne, not Wayne. As much as niggas love Jay Z, not Jay Z. Eventually, either you fade out gracefully and transition to other ventures and stuff like that,
or
like Jay
literally
Z
just turn
has
to a
and stuff
villain.
like that, or what I'm saying, you live long enough to become the villain, bro.
And I think
You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
I think the problem with Drake's transition that you're talking about is all of this like you say, you either age out gracefully or live long enough to be the villain. Sometimes people they just musically they just fall off. You know what I'm saying? They start
Right.
tapping into different vibes, genres, different sounds. As they grow older with their music.
Different industries. Niggas just stop rapping altogether, and you find other passions in life. But I would feel like, as a 40-year-old man, you're not still talking about picking up hoes at the club and having sexual escapades about how these women still won't commit to you, even though that you got a lot of money. You done got a Miami BBL job on your Peter Whacker, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you doing all
Yeah.
this stuff. It's like, It's like you're like that Silicon Valley LA girl. It's like you're doing everything to stay trendy. You're doing everything to stay pop, to stay now, to stay in the know. And it's like I think that trendy shit then finally backed off because it's like you don't have you had some niggas start back in the grip that you can hang your hat on, that melodic rap, but it's like you think you so big, you think you bigger than that, and you think you can do these other things, but it's like you really don't have nothing that you can like, all right, my back against the wall. What Meek do when his back was against the wall, bro? He went for what he knew. Nigga, wins and losses. Nigga, I'm from the gutter, bro. I'm from the streets, bro. I
Yeah,
know how to make something out of nothing. Like
yeah,
back against the wall, you throw a platinum album. Congrats, Meek. You survived the beef. You still survived to live another day. And Meek, was in his mid 30s to late 30s and now too. So it's just like, what's the difference between him and Drake? He has something that he can fall back on. He has an identity. He has a musical identity that he can go back to and a core fan base that says, you know what? Man, we got this Meek back then with Flamers Meek. We got this Meek when he was
yeah,
still braided up, nappy headed on the block. I don't think because if you go and listen to Drake's new shit, I don't even hear Scorpion Drake no more. And that was 2018, I believe. Like, I don't know, man.
yeah. Uh, to finish my thought, like when you was talking about his transition and him fading out gracefully or being a villain, I think the problem with this particular transition of Drake that we're witnessing is he didn't have a choice in this transition. It basically, outside looking in, it looks like Kendrick beat you into submission for you to go elsewhere out of the rap industry or like the rap lane. That's what it looks like. It don't look like you had a choice on what you want to do. Like you got beat into submission, and that's what looks bad
MGK
as he's
anyone?
transitioning.
Yeah, transitioning into a full-time bitch, not a part-time one. Yeah,
Nobody
man.
ever heard of MGK?
Don't compare that to this. Don't do that.
Can't compare that to this. That's pretty much what's happening. Dude got whooped in a rap battle, and I mean, he ended up having a certain point where he had to go to a whole different genre
So
just to
are
get
you
some type
telling
of energy
me
back. That's what
that
Drake is doing. He's going outside of the country to try to get his energy back. Is he not? He's not changing the genre. He's just changing outside the country. Because technically, he's not even American. He just visiting. So now he's like, okay, the Americans don't mess with me that much. I'll go to Australia. I'll go to Europe somewhere. I'll go to
yeah,
wherever
but
they accept
you
me at.
can't take but guess what? But guess what Drake really misses though? He misses being a part of the culture. And you
He
know what I
does.
mean by culture? The hip hop culture. He missed going. You know what Drake
Yeah.
really loved? He loved the perks that come along being a superstar rapper. He loved being friends with LeBron. He loved being cool with DeMar
Yeah.
DeRozan. He loved being cool with all the other athletes and stuff. And he loved being cool with all the other rappers. But it's like now, niggas done pick sides a little bit. Now you ain't as hot. And now niggas looking at you like a little differently, like, man, this nigga kind of lame. Like, man, like is Drake really that? And it's like, yeah, you still gonna get by off. Yeah, man, you was big and stuff like that, but all that Drake's peak is over, bro.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I think what you're seeing now is just the fallout ramifications of that. You done peaked. You done been on top for so long, bro. You don't know what it's like to taste some failure. And you went up against Kendrick, bro, and you failed miserably to the tune of
And
5 Grammys in a great historic halftime performance.
and that's
And
the
Fall off
you know
so
thing.
how I know
soon.
it's great when you have other people of other different colors calling it horrible. That's how you know you got a good product when you got the other side really you got their feathers ruffled. You got something good.
Bro, and the other thing about Drake losing this beef, bro, is humans, men, like you can respect a man losing. You can respect a man taking a loss. You can respect that. Ain't no shame in taking a loss. Everybody gonna take a loss at some point in
But
life,
it's
one way
how
or
you
the other.
lose.
How you lose is what determines your character and how we really view you as a man
How
after the
niggas really
fact.
appreciate it because you could lose and be like, because when Meek lost, I was just like, damn, Meek getting killed. But when Meek fought back out of that corner with wins and losses, I was just like, Yeah, my nigga ain't. He's still
You know,
here.
it's
He's still
yeah.
there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think how we've
Yeah.
seen Drake handle this loss is like what's it's not the fact that he's lost. I think how he's handled it post loss is what appears to be the most damaging to his legacy.
You sued. You're gonna forever be. You know what you're gonna be? You're gonna be that white Karen, that white Jew boy who lost a rap battle and went and cried to his mommy and had to get his parents involved. And now you suing, and now you calling the police, and now you want somebody to do something about it because you're too big for this, and somebody needs to pay. You know how that goes. Somebody's gonna pay for this. You're gonna pay for that. You know this. I know the head sheriff. I know the DEA. I know the prosecutor. You're not gonna do this to me. Well, Drake has been done. What the fuck are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, man. This is probably this wasn't planned. This wasn't on the rundown. We just got here some kind of way. This is definitely probably a topic Sedacious would not stand for.
But
But
we know why
yeah.
he didn't show up today, man.
But yeah, man, he ain't here tonight, but we here to die for, man. But nah, beautiful people. That is what you call a great episode. Um, yeah, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please make sure y'all follow us at all of our socials. Make sure y'all follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that down in the description. Love you, beautiful people. Don't take y'all listening to us for granted. We will see you next week.